All right, so we're going to start today talking about triangles very quickly. It's not the whole lesson. We're going to come back to triangles once we are done with our map next week. Okay, so here our title for today is triangles. We're going to learn a lot about a triangle. Here is a triangle. I'm going to call this angle A, this angle B, and this angle C. So a triangle has how many angles? A triangle has how many angles? 3. Okay. Does anybody know if I add up all of the angles what it equals to? Let me show you. What if I tear up this triangle into 3 pieces? Okay. I still have the angles, right? And I put all the angles in a nice arranged format. What do you notice? What do they create when I rip up the 3 edges? What do they create? 180. They create a straight line, right? So here are my 3 angles that 5 seconds ago were in a perfect triangle, and I ripped them up in front of you, and now they create a straight line, which is how many degrees? 180. So the math says in a triangle, in any triangle that you have, no matter the size, no matter the shape, as long as it's a triangle, if you have angle A, B, and C, the math says oh, welcome back. Let's put that away. I was waiting for a long time. If you add angle A plus angle B plus angle C, if I add A plus B plus C, it's going to equal what? 180 degrees. I couldn't fit it over here, so I just wrote it down here. So write it in a straight line. Hopefully yours fits all in a straight line. Mine did not, so I had to write it underneath. But if you add up the 3 angles, it equals 180. Kind of like supplementary. But we don't call it supplementary because it's 3 angles. Supplementary is just 2 angles. So this is 3 angles that equal 180. 180. Okay. It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. All right. So draw a nice little triangle here. I have to draw mine pretty big so I can fit in the numbers for you to see. All right. We're going to say that this angle is X, this angle is 75, and this angle is 50. X, 75, and 50. X, 75, and 50. So, you don't have a protractor, right? You can't measure this and figure out what's the missing angle. So what we have to do to figure this out is use good old math, good old algebra. So what do we know? We know that if I take X plus what? Plus equals 180. Why did that go off again? Stop. All right. So if I take X plus 75 plus 50, it equals 180. Okay? These 3 equal 180. So, what do you guys want to do? How do you guys want to solve this? There's 2 ways to solve it, so you tell me. How do you want to do this? Okay. That's one way, Juan. Juan said add 75 and 50. That's easy. There's another way. Move the 50 first, then move the 75. Whatever you want to do, go for it. If you want to move 50 and then 75, you can do that. I'm going to do Juan's way because he was the first one to say it, so I'm going to do what he says. So I'm going to add those 2 numbers. What is 75 plus 50? 125. So I have X plus 125 is equal to 180. Now we have technically a 6th grade problem. This is really a 6th grade problem, not 7th grade, right here. This is 7th grade. This is 6th grade. How do I solve this? Yep. All right, subtract that. And I'll tell you the truth. If you get this problem on the map or the SBAC, it probably won't give you a calculator. Because they kind of want you to add by yourselves and subtract by yourselves. So if this was on your test, they probably won't give you a calculator. Just be forewarned. So start practicing. That becomes a 10 and that becomes a 7. And double check with your calculator if you did it right. But I would start practicing, because if they get this, probably won't get a calculator. Now, I might be wrong. You might get a calculator and yay. So x equals 55. That means that this angle is 55 degrees. Okay? Pretty easy or not so much? Pretty easy, right? I hope. Okay, let me give you... Oh, okay. Pop quiz. I'm going to teach you this later, slower, but let me see if you know it. Does anybody know what you call a triangle that has all angles that are less than 90? What do we call this triangle? Here are your options. Acute, right, or obtuse triangle? Acute. Acute. Why do we call it an acute triangle? Because all the angles are below 90. They're all acute, okay? I will teach you this slowly on a different day, but it might be on your test. So if you know it, great. If you don't know it, stick it in your brain. It's really easy. If they're all less than 90, it's an acute triangle. All right, question. Let's see. This is level 2. Why is this triangle level 2? So draw me a triangle like this that looks just like this. Draw me a wonderful triangle that looks just like this. Okay, we just learned that if you add the 3 angles, it has to equal 180. And I gave you one angle 20, one angle's x, and the other angle I kind of left blank. Or did I? What's the missing number that I didn't give you? 90. How do you know it's 90? Yeah. So you should be able to, if you see this little box right here, your brain should go, oh, that's 90. And if it doesn't, it should now. So if you see this little box, it's 90. Remember my shirt that said I was always right? Because it had that little right thing. So that is an invisible 90 degrees. It's invisible. It won't be there. So this is x plus 90 plus 120 equals 180. The invisible 90. They will not write down 90. You have to know it's 90. All right. Do you want to do it Juan's way or the different way? Juan's way. I like it. Add these 2 first. Add those 2 first. All right, what's 90 plus 20? 110. Plus x equals 180. Now, draw my bars. How do I move the 110? Minus 110. And what is x equal to? 70. Now, the last triangle was called an acute triangle because all of the angles were acute. What do you think we call this triangle? All right. You see this 90-degree angle, a right angle? So if you have one right angle in a triangle, the whole thing is called a right triangle. All right, now let's draw what we call an obtuse triangle. Why do you think it's called an obtuse triangle? Because it has an obtuse angle. All right, so draw me an obtuse angle. Here, like this. All right, and then make this angle obtuse. Is that an obtuse angle? Good. Let's write it down. And then close it to make a triangle. This is called an obtuse triangle. Why is it called an obtuse? Because it has an obtuse angle. All right. Okay. Ready for a hard one? Okay, I had to draw a bigger one. I can't fit my numbers in. All right. $130 and x minus 20. Okay. What makes this hard? The x minus 20. That minus 20. Boy, you kids ignore that minus 20. All right, write it out in equation. So what would you write as an equation? What would be our equation? Let me write it underneath. X minus 20 plus 100 plus 30 all equals? Okay, so that hasn't changed, right? So when you're taking the math test or the SBAC, write it all in a straight line and equals 180, right? Yeah, Natalie. Let's write this down. Let's focus. Okay, how do you want to do this? What do you want to do? Okay, so I'm going to put these two together because they're both pluses, right? So what's 100 plus 30? So you have 130 still equals 180 plus x minus 20. Now this is where kids mess up. They want to put these two together and call it 150. And is it 150? No, because this is a minus 20. So when you have a problem that looks like minus 20, my suggestion to you is just don't put these two together. Just go plus 20, plus 20. Just move it to the other side. Because a lot of kids will do these two wrong. They'll put them together incorrectly. Then they'll call it 150. And it's like, oh no, it's not 150. This is probably easier for you to do. What's 180 minus 20? Uh-oh. What is it? 200. No. Oh, yes, 200. Sorry. My brain was subtracting. Okay, now we have x plus 130 equals 200. So I moved the 20 first because it said minus 20, and I don't like the minus 20, so I added 20, added 20. I'm left with 200. Now we have a 6th grade problem. How do I solve this? Minus 130, minus 130. What is x equal to? So that's level a billion. Are we okay with this one? Okay. Let me, hold on, don't do. Okay. Let's give you level 5,678. You ready? Draw me an acute triangle. Level 5,658. Isaiah, can you handle this problem? 2x, 65, 3x plus 20. I kind of like it. Okay, what's the first thing? If you get this on the test, what's the first thing you should do? Write it out as an equation. Just write everything down in a straight line. Write everything down in a straight line and put an equals 180. When you take your math test, you're going to get scratch paper. Use the scratch paper. If you're not using your scratch paper, you're probably not doing a good job. Because you need that scratch paper. Like for this problem, there is no way, even for your math teacher, to do this in your head. To really try to get it right in my head. I wouldn't want to do that. If I'm taking a test, I wouldn't want to do this in my head. All right, so write everything down. Does it matter which order you put these numbers in? It does not. Let's say you wrote it down before I did and you put the 2x over here and the 65 over here. Does it change the way we're going to do this? No. So first thing you do is write it all across. All right. What do you guys want to do first? Yep. Add the x's. All right. What do you get when you add those two? Yeah. 5x. Now what do you guys want to do? Yeah. Because they're both pluses, right? So it's okay if they're both pluses. If there was a minus, I would do it differently. What's 65 plus 20? So plus 85 equals 180. You are going to be in high school doing the draw your bars problems. And when you go to college, you're going to be solving problems that have draw the bars on them. So these problems where you draw the bars will be with you until you finish your education. If that's in high school or if that's in college, you will be solving equations. They just get longer and harder. Minus 85, minus 85. They probably won't give you a calculator, so can you do it without a calculator? If they give you a calculator, use it. Use it. What's 10 minus 5? 5. Ooh, 7 minus 8. I can't do it. So it turns into a 17. What's 17 minus 8? 9 equals 5x divided by 5 divided by 5x equals. What is 95 divided by 5? 98. Nice. Good job. Good job getting that right. It 100% looks like a lot of work. You know, if Chelsea or Valerie were to walk in late right now because they were testing, they walked in, they saw this, and they'd be like, what are you guys doing? That's looking really hard. But in reality, it's not. It's just put all of this in a straight line and set it equal to 180. That's level 5,000 something. You might get level 1. And if we get level 1, then you're in good shape, right? We like level 1. Speaking of level 1. All right. Okay. We only have a couple minutes, so I'm only going to give you a couple of problems to do, and then you'll turn it in. This is muy difícil, muy difícil, muy difícil. Okay. Page 1 is level 1. Really easy. So you're missing the measure of angle U. M stands for measure. Measure of angle U. So I give you 37, I give you 63, and then I give you, I don't know, right? We can use an X. All right, set up your equation while I answer this call. This is Miss O'Malley. Okay, so did you write down 37 plus 63 plus X equals 180? I'm okay if you want to add 63 and 37 in your head and then write it down plus X. I'm okay with that. Okay, what is 37 plus 63? 100 and what? 100. Oh, 100. Oh my gosh, this is easy. Right? Minus 100 minus 100. And what is X equal to? 80. 80. Good job. You got that before I did. Good. You're frantically copying me. All right, let's look at number 2. Miss Amelia, there's a number missing. There's a number missing. Is there a number missing? No, it's in disguise. This is a number in disguise. What is this number in disguise? 90. All right, go ahead. Write it down. Alright, so we wrote down 90 plus 46 plus x equals 180. What's 90 plus 46? 136, love it. Plus x equals 180, so we have to subtract 136. What's 180 minus 136? 44. I don't know, is it? Do we agree with 44? Let's see, 10. Yep, 44. Good job. Okay, I'm going to now be quiet. I want you to do numbers 3, 4, and 5. Let's just do 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. A couple minutes left. 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5.